This time on Jonathan Bird's Blue World, Jonathan goes muck diving to film some outlandish marine life.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Bird, and welcome to my world. For most divers, the best diving involves warm, clear water and lots of colorful fish. So coral reefs are the most popular dive destinations. But as divers gain more experience, they seek out new and different diving environments like shark diving or cave diving, and everything in between. One exciting environment is muck diving. I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but trust me, if you like cool critters, muck diving is where it's at. Muck dives don't generally involve any actual muck. Usually they're just dives with a sandy bottom inhabited by critters that have adapted to this unique habitat. It's stuff that either doesn't live on reefs or would be very hard to spot on a reef. While technically muck diving can be done just about anywhere there's a silty, sandy, or muddy seafloor, certain places around the world have developed quite a reputation for good muck dives with lots of critters. And this is one such place, the Blue Heron Bridge in Riviera Beach, Florida. This may not look like much of a dive site, but this bridge is actually world famous for the stunning diversity of interesting critters that inhabit the shallow water just below the traffic zooming by. I've stopped in for a couple dives to check out the diving and find out what all the fuss is about. But I'm terrible at finding stuff, so I've enlisted the help of local Blue Heron Bridge expert Jeff Nelson from Force E, a local dive shop. It's sort of a weird dive. We suit up in the parking lot and then walk over to the water's edge. Because there are strong currents here when the tide is coming in or going out, we have to dive during a short window when the tide changes. So my dive today begins at dusk during the high tide slack. I'll have all I can handle with my camera, so Jeff will tow along a dive flag. It floats above us to make sure people in boats can see us. It's still light as we sink down into only 6 feet of water and start looking for critters. Jeff has promised me one of the hardest fish to film, a jawfish with eggs. The jawfish is my quarry. Almost immediately, Jeff finds me a weird fuzzball. It almost looks like a jellyfish, but this is a large nudibranch called a sea hare. And this one is laying its eggs. As we continue on through the murky water, a seahorse. In most places, seahorses are not only hard to find, but frustratingly uncooperative. I think this guy has seen enough cameras that he knows if he poses for a minute or two, I'll go away and leave him alone. A puffer is attracted to my lights and comes over for a look. Nearby, the fastest sea star I've ever seen racing across the sand. And then another cooperative seahorse, using its prehensile tail to grip an old piece of rope. Without Jeff to point out these little guys, I would probably swim right by them and not even see them. With the seahorses in the bag, it's time to move on. We pass a yellow stingray hunting for food. They eat mostly shrimp, worms, and clams, stuff that lives in and on the sandy seafloor. I just hope this hungry stingray doesn't find those seahorses. A mantis shrimp sticks its eyes out of its burrow to check out my bright video lights. But it's definitely not coming out. Jeff knows where to find a small octopus. It dives into its home when I approach. But if there's one thing about octopods, they are curious. Staring at its reflection in the lens of my camera, it soon comes out to investigate. First, a quick touch of the camera housing. I stick my finger around into the shot to give the octopus some scale. You can see that this is a very small octopus. But nobody told her that. She grabs my finger with her suckers and tries to pull me into her den. If you ever have the opportunity to arm wrestle with an octopus, you will find they are amazingly strong, and the suction cups feel so weird on my skin. While hunting for the jawfish, we come across a super rare and weird fish. This little guy is a batfish. It walks along the bottom on legs that have evolved from pelvic fins. And just over its mouth, a retractable lure used to fish for prey. Its gill openings are hidden behind its pectoral fins so the prey won't see it breathing. When it decides to swim, you can tell that this fish isn't really designed to swim very well. Definitely a bottom dweller. Towards the end of the dive, Jeff finds me the elusive jawfish with eggs. But I blow it by moving in too close and scaring the little fish. He won't come out. And my lights are probably frightening him too, so I give up. But don't worry, I have a plan.
Will Jonathan manage to film the elusive jawfish? Stick around and find out.
Early the next morning, we're back at the bridge for the next slack tide. So before the sun is even up, cameraman Todd and I are gearing up with Jeff. This time, I really hope we can film that jawfish. We drop down into the shallow water and start making our way over to the jawfish's burrow. Along the way, I am seduced by another octopus. Ask any diver, octopods are too cool. You just have to stop and watch them when you find one. This one's a little bigger than the other one. Cameraman Todd and I take turns getting some shots and waiting for the octopus to do something interesting besides just stare at us. I stick my hand out to see if I can rouse the animal's curiosity. She is not going for it. Fortunately, Jeff teaches me a better way. Make my hand look like an octopus on the sand. And it works. With a couple suction cups, she tries to take me home. That was really fun, but my mission is to find the jawfish, so we move on. There he is, the elusive jawfish. But this time, I'm going to work my way closer very slowly so I don't spook him. Oh no, I scared him again. Oh, wait a minute. He's coming back up. How do I know it's a him? The eggs give him away. When it comes to jawfish, the male guards the eggs in a very unlikely place, his mouth. Jawfish are mouth brooders, meaning that once the male has fertilized the eggs, he takes them from the female and keeps them safe in his mouth for about 2 weeks until they hatch. During that time, Dad can't eat anything. The eggs are transparent. You can see the little eyeballs of each baby jawfish inside the eggs. Every once in a while, he has to aerate the eggs. To do that, he spits the eggs out and then sucks them back in. He does this every minute or two for a couple weeks. With my mission complete, we head back towards the beach, past the concrete columns of the bridge. I come across a snake eel out early looking for breakfast. The snake eel, which is an eel, not a snake, pokes its head into holes looking for small fish and invertebrates to eat. This one caught a small crab. By the time we finish the dive, the sun is up in Riviera Beach. As Jeff and I emerge from the ocean, I can't believe how much stuff I saw on such a shallow dive in the most unlikely spot. Muck diving is fun.
That dive was amazing! So many cool little critters!
On my trip to the Blue Heron Bridge, I only had time for a couple dives. But in only 2 dives, I saw a huge variety of animals, and I know I barely scratched the surface. The batfish, seahorses, octopods, and jawfish are rare animals that are not easy to find anywhere, yet we saw them here. Needless to say, I'll be back for more. Muck diving is awesome.